It is time for another episode of the free VST Plugin Detective, where I review, test out, and demonstrate various free VSTs. This one is the Valhalla Frequency Echo. And Valhalla, I think, is like a legendary when it comes to plugins. You know, there's a bunch of different companies when it comes to plugins or VSTs that everybody knows about. Valhalla is one of them. And this is their free plugin. And I'm going to read their description on their website because it's really well written. They said basically, it is a bowed-style frequency shifter and analog echo simulation, skull-melting chaos. Perfect for dub, Doctor Who, and all your psychedelic needs. Sonic results range from subtle chorusing and double tracking to barber pole phasing and phalanging to endless glissandos and runaway echoes. Bit of a mouthful there, but basically, obviously, this is basically a good frequency shifter. Allows you to create a lot of really trippy, a lot of really weird effects, you know. So let's just jump into it. So I'm going to kind of close this out. So I have two samples right here that I basically just got from Splice, just to kind of show you how it may sound. One is actually a drum loop, because I'm curious to see how this sounds with the drum loop. Another one is basically just a normal, you know, little, melody. So I'm going to actually put this on both. I'm going to solo this, right? So you can hear the drum first. I'm going to play it now. Now let's loop this so you can hear it right away. Where's loop? I always can't find it. Activate loop. There we go. So I'm going to turn it off so you can hear the drum loop without it. And then let's just mess around, right? Because obviously on this series, what I like to do is kind of test stuff out, warp with it. Because some VSTs that I review are more instruments, right? So you play it, you can easily hear the sound. And be like, okay, here's how realistic or not realistic this plugin may be. For this one, though, this is one of the ones that you kind of have to mess around with for a while and just kind of see what it can do. You know, I actually have not used it yet, hence why I've not given it my own rating, and also rate every plugin. So let's just play this, right? So, right, typical drum loop. So you kind of get the idea, right? So now, let's have some fun. So I'm going to turn this on. Obviously, it's not going to sound like any different. So you have basically a couple different things here. This is the GUI, the graphic user interface. You have the mix of the delay, the shift, the feedback, low cut, and high cut. And output mode, I can do mono or stereo. I'm going to leave it in stereo. Delay sync, I'm going to leave this on free for now. But we can have some fun with that a little bit later. I might turn up the mix to 100%. So I'll see it kind of like a dry wet. I'm going to keep it 100% just because I want to hear the full power of this. Right, but sometimes, obviously, when using a frequency shifter, it is better to adjust the dry wet and maybe keep it at 50 to start. Right, so already, right, kind of actually already sounds a bit like Effect and Mushroom. That kind of like, it's obviously very psychedelic. So I have the delay here. So it almost reminds you a little bit like a, you know, a slight bit of a phaser, obviously, kind of. And the cool thing about, obviously, again, Valhalla makes incredibly well-made plugins, so the fact that this is free is amazing. And I do like that if, like, say, you're someone who's just starting music production, it does have basically the description right there. So it says, mix controls the wet-dry balance. This is the delay of the frequency shifted signal. This is where, as you can see, the reason why this is the biggest knob is because this is where the meat of the plugin is, you know. Then you have feedback, obviously, low cut, high cut, you know, so these are kind of more trimming, you know, feedback as well a little bit, but shifting and the delay, in my opinion, are going to be the biggest things. The dry wet's obviously going to be important in terms of how much of that signal, or how much of it you want to be affecting total in the mix, but, you know, so I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to 100%. That's cool. Even just I didn't even touch the shift yet. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to give it like a small delay. So already you can kind of hear, you know. Ooh. Well, how that sounds actually 50%. So you can do a lot. Weird. So you can already tell this is one of those plugins that you just kind of have to mess around with. I think this has a tremendous amount of possibilities. Right now I'm just having fun with it because why not, right? I'm going to say this too, for my rating, I'm going to give this one already, again, this is my first time using it actually. Like some plugins I like to kind of mess around with before I film. Other ones I'm like, you know what? I just want to just right on camera, see how it goes. I'm giving this one a 5 out of 5. I think this one is incredibly well made. I haven't even touched feedback, low cut or high cut yet. I'm going to get to that next. But I think you can already tell it's very, very well made. Any plugin that Valhalla makes is incredible. And I think even though this one's very, very specific, right? This is not the type of plugin you can use all the time. I do think that for a frequency shifting plugin, if that is your goal, if that is something that you want to do in your record, this is a great, great free one to go to, right? I feel like, too, like, just adjusting it. Ooh, I didn't even see this. Okay, so if you right-click, I didn't even know that. You can do velocity-sensitive mode, which I like. Okay, and then, obviously, I do like this. Some free plugins don't allow you to automate some parameters in your DAW. Some do. And anytime this exists, it's a sign that it's a good plugin. So, for example, if I want to do, where's delay? So, if I go here, I can do this, and you'll notice now, right, like, I can do that. Now, some free plugins don't have that, they don't allow you to automate some of the parameters, you know, in your DAW, which can be really frustrating. You have to almost, like, manually record it and, like, move it with your mouse. And obviously, like I said, Valhalla makes incredible plugins, so I'm glad that that exists. So access other stuff now. I'm going to leave it on, do something else. Wait, but... Oh, okay, so with velocity sensitive mode, I was kind of curious what they meant exactly by that. So with velocity sensitive mode, it allows you to adjust things fine-tune. So if you notice this, I can go really crazy. When I turn this on, it's by, you know, very, very little bit when I scroll up, which is pretty cool. And then rotary mode, almost seems like you can make it either, like, seems like regular, almost inverted, similar to, like, gaming with rotary mode. So let me turn that off. Because this is one of those plugins you can already tell, just a fine tune, like even just a millisecond, adds a whole other texture, right? So let's check that out with the feedback. I feel like this could be, hold on, I'm gonna have some fun with this. I feel like this could actually be like a synth and a drop if I do like... I feel like actually... Actually, hold on a second. I'm gonna do something interesting here. Let me do this. So I feel like you can almost like, even though this is a drum loop, and this is one of the cool things about music production. Well, that's a long delay. Okay. Alright, sorry. But that's one of those cool things about music production. You never know what can come out. Like, I feel like actually that sound I could easily use as a drop. Like, probably not with this drum, but right away I'm like, you know what? If I have this here, right, I could probably put that with like a big, almost like a big room kick, actually. I think almost having like almost like a trippy, housey, you know, 4 on the floor style production. Like, this would be really cool if I had like a bigger... Like, have some big... Like, you could easily do some weird stuff with that. Again, this is one of the cool things about music production. You never know what's going to come about. Yeah, like, this is where you could do some really, like... Yeah, something like that, like... Again, powerful, very, very powerful plugin, so I'm giving it the perfect 5 out of 5 rating. So, obviously, we did that with the drums. Now let's do it for an actual melody or an actual instrument or a synth. That's typically what you use a frequency shifter for. You really don't use it on drums, but I feel like when you sometimes use a plugin, especially like a modulation plugin like this, on something that you typically don't modulate, weird stuff can happen, as you just heard. So let's now go to here. I'm going to solo this. So here's how it sounds. Alright, just so you can kind of get the idea of how it sounds without anything. Let me turn this off. Yeah, I was going to say, I was like... Alright, now let's have some fun. I'm going to throw on the mix 100% again. And you've already heard a lot of this, so let's just, you know, kind of move... You also notice it definitely adds some stereo width, where I could definitely put in some mono. So this is where obviously low cut and high cut, and I didn't even do that on the last time, but this is obviously light EQing. To be honest, this kind of stuff I might do in post, but obviously this is just for the shifted signal, so I guess that makes it a little bit easier. I'm not sure I just lazy. We haven't done this yet. Let's try like 1-4 actually. I'm gonna do that so I can. So another thing you notice, especially when it comes to any gotta do that. Anything you notice about a frequency shifter, I know I've been kind of playing around with this and stuff like that, and you get the idea, obviously, by this point in the video, what this plugin can do and everything. The one thing I will say when it comes to any frequency shifter, because I've used them in some of my tracks before, is, like I said earlier, remember that the most finite, tiny adjustment can really make a massive difference, you know? So can I actually make this back to normal? I'm going to do this, actually, to show you what I mean. I'll kind of leave with this. So obviously I'm going to reset it back to the normal settings. Obviously I'm just going to play this again so you can hear it. So let's say I want to adjust this. So this way velocity sensitive mode can be really helpful actually. So let's say I want to go from here to like, like that. Like even just that can actually have a big adjustment. So I'm going to set this back. Okay, go back to 0. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to set it back to that. So let's say I go like here. And let's say I go down to like, but where am I at here? Okay. Come on. Okay. Come on. What's that do? Come on. Delete that. Let me try the delay is being weird. Okay, so even if I just go up to like here, right? Like for some reason not doing it actually. That's weird. Bit odd. Oh, it's off. Well, I'm an idiot. My bad. Didn't have enough coffee this morning. Anyway, so going back to it. So if I was gonna go like from here, so you know, halfway, and I even go like, I'm talking like 1. Well, let me show you even just 1 over the course of the whole thing. Right, so now you notice I'm going from the half to just -1. You notice it like already, you can kind of hear it coming in. So even just like, even just a little bit adds like a lot of a difference, right? So like, so you, especially if feedback's 100%. So that's why when it comes to a frequency shifter, especially for me when I do use it in my own tracks, I usually don't go like crazy, even though I do like the fact that with this plugin you can. It's usually, as you heard there, it kind of adds almost like a nice phasey effect, you know, like a very nice phasey sound. Like, right, that'd be kind of like I'd adjust the frequency shift and maybe go back and forth and automate it, especially if I was going for a very trippy or psychedelic effect. But anyway, that is the Valhalla Frequency Echo. Definitely check it out. Like I said, any plugin that Valhalla makes is always good, always very, very well made, as you can tell. Everything from the GUI, also I love how it has the description in the bottom, to the fact that you can actually adjust some of the parameters and automation in your DAW. This is one plugin you have to pick up.